Initiating Hypergate. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hypergate activated. The portal to illuminating the collective consciousness has finally opened. Please enter the Hypergate now.
Hey, what is going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, Leo King, and we are here for Deep Astrology, your weekly astrology forecast for the week of October 6th through the 12th of 2021. We are doing a special edition, Deep Astrology and Spiritual Dance Music. And I know all of you YouTubers out there and across the web, you probably miss Deep Astrology, I know, but I always do. My new and full moon horoscopes out there for you all. I'm sure you watched my new moon horoscope this morning on YouTube. But you're lucky because I'm a man of my word. Whenever it is, it just so happened that this new moon followed to be on a Wednesday when Deep Astrology on High Vibe always is. So, but that means I got to do spiritual dance music at the same time too. So it's like I got 2 shows to do. And then I got the spiritual dance music people who are like, I don't care if you do it with Deep Astrology. And then I got the Deep Astrology people who don't watch spiritual dance music. So I have to please I gotta please a lot of people. I gotta please high vibers first. I gotta please everybody out there in the public. And then I gotta please the people who like both shows or one show and not the other. It's just like, so you're getting Deep Astrology in its full form right now. And then, of course, then I'll go into spiritual dance music. So I just want to make that clear. This is the show. If you don't know, if you didn't know, this has been the show I've been doing for a long time. It's had many names, from Uncut Astrology to Deep Astrology, or there was those years there while I was still doing Uncut, and I was doing a live stream show in my first studio when live streaming first started. I was one of the first Facebook live stream accounts that got the access to do it. And this is the show where I channel to you the astrology of what's going on this week. And then, of course, go deep into the charts, which are brought to you by Astro Gold, which you can get on iOS or Android or any of your Mac devices, or check out Solar Fire for your PC. We got a lot to talk about this week, and I just want to say, if you do miss this show, and even though it's usually not done like this, because this is rare for Deep Astrology on Wednesday, check out highvibe.tv. We have an awesome 7-day free trial. We have also some amazing, amazing different rates that you can check out for a 3-month or 6-month subscription. Super cheap. You can get us on your Android, your iPhone, Apple TV, or Roku. Or, of course, our newest update to highvibe.tv. We also, in our community, when we do all the live shows, which we do a lot every week, we do have live chat, just like on YouTube. And we are going to have it on the app. I just submitted for us to have it. We finally have the ability to do it in the app, so got to go through some of the App Store approvals, but it's there. So you guys are missing out on a lot, especially all the amazing talent that we got on highvibe.tv. If you just even go on this YouTube verse anymore, you won't get any of this truth. It's just the truth. Anyway, so talking about the truth, we're in a new moon. This new moon is in Libra. It's with Mars. Hi, woo. You know, the Sun and Mars are the defining aspects, and defining our life right now seems a little troublesome. We just had 6 planets retrograde. Now we're in 5 planets retrograde because Pluto also decided to go direct today on this October the 6th. And with Pluto now direct, and with Pluto in its final years here, this final last 2 years of being here in Capricorn, it's been here since 2008. This is a phoenix that's rising, and I said a joke on today's morning horoscope. I was just like, not only is the phoenix rising, but the beak of this phoenix is like ready to just go, bah, 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 and ready to get to the truth. Now, of course, relationships come up with Libra, I know. Venus finishing in Scorpio on this new moon. And then we're going to see Venus come into Sag this week. We've got the South Node there, though. We're going to be seeing the moon as well be going through some really weird aspects. So this new moon's definitely a lot of energy with Mars and Pluto direct. And the moon, throughout this week, it's going to come into its fall position while Venus is leaving its detrimental position in Scorpio into Sag. And then the moon is going to meet with Venus and the South Node and make a semi-square to the Sun, Mars, and Mercury retrograde by Saturday, all conjunct in a big semi-square. This week is going to be action-packed in your life. A lot of change, especially, not just because of the Pluto direct, and it's an easy one to say, but this Mercury retrograde to me on top of this triple conjunction that is so powerful to me on Saturday is amazing. But it also can be very harsh. And this is where are you going to keep glossing over in your life, whether it's things that are really not in your center and in your balance and in your harmony, whether that's in relationships or whether that's in every aspect of your life. The relationships we have are much more than people or the people that we love or even our friends or our family or the people on the street. It's the relationship we have with the divine. It's the relationship I have with this chair. I'm sure some of the old Leo King people know, this is like, you used to watch me in this chair way back in the day in Hollywood days. I bought this in Hollywood in 2013. And I remember I tried to auction this chair off on tour in 2018 to prove a point about Uranus and Taurus on the scarcity that was going to be coming up and weird shit. It's kind of creepy. Actually, Ann and I earlier tonight were watching my Washington, D.C. talk in 2018 about the governments and stuff, and it's even weirder to watch because that's 3.5 years ago coming up. And everything we're seeing right now and everything is like, oh, wow, that was dead on. So I just think it's funny, though, because I think we're at such a weird time of what we relate to and how we relate and how we react to them. I just finished my taxes. I just did my corporate taxes, and then, you have to do your personal. I had filed an extension because I have a lot going on over here. And I have to form a relationship with my tax guy. I got to form and my accountant and all the accountants that are under him. And then I have my relationship with the IRS and the state, California. Man, am I getting butt raped hard. You have no idea. And that's with, doing everything that you can. But it's like, am I going to react to that in a how I believe things should be? Or, okay, those are the facts. And how do I move forward and continue to be positive? I can't be mad at my accountant. He's actually one of my friends. He's been my accountant and corporate accountant forever. So, it's one of those parts in life where you have to realize all aspects of our life right now are under a very intense test on whether or not we're going to lose it or we're going to stay centered and balanced and still see that everything's going to be okay and that the balance and harmony is there, and how to build a better and a much stronger relationship with how those things are going to go. So I think it's very important for us to not lose sight of the future, Jupiter and Saturn retrograde, but by Sunday, Saturn turns direct. So it stations direct. I think that this week, I'm going to be very honest with you all. Congratulate yourself that you even made it this far. These were some challenging months, let alone years, let alone a decade plus that you've been through. But with Saturn stationing and then finally turning direct on Sunday, while we're having this triple conjunction of the Sun, Mercury retrograde, Mars, we're having a triple conjunction new moon, which is kind of harsh for the moon. Let's be real, Mars and the moon are not really that good of friends. And Mars and the moon isn't like the cool uncle that shows up. it's like the naggy neighbor that has something to say about, like, your kid is not cool. Like Mars and the moon is not nice to the baby. You know what I mean? It's the guy with the loud car at 4 a.m. going by your house. Bah! Waking the baby up. Bah! So Mercury retrograde on Mars, similar, although it can give the bugle horn to the warrior, but at the same time, it could also give the bugle horn to the loudmouth, or it could be the really annoying dog that doesn't stop barking. Elizabeth Warren has Mercury-Mars conjunct. Gosh, I've always thought of her as a barking dog. I'm not making fun of her. I'm just saying, like, she's just like, when you see it, you can see Mercury-Mars people. And it's going to be intense with how we use the correct words, but we have to stand our ground too. So this is going to be very difficult because the moon's going to be really stressed. I'm going to be real. And it's going to try and gloss everything over with the moon-Venus South Node conjunction on Saturday, while Saturn stationary retrograde at 0.0000001 second. There's going to be a moment there like, no, everything's fine, but like, there's going to be some intensity at the highest levels. And it's about finding your cool. Because Saturn is teaching us that in Aquarius. Jupiter's going to give us the gift for that. And not only that, we do have quite a lot going on here in Libra. Learning to not just chill, but to be diplomatic. But we have to know how to keep bridges together between people. Because this is a lot of planets dealing with people. And then Venus in the South Node, this is going to bring up a lot of karmic situations relationship-wise, especially about, what were the lessons learned and whether or not we're going to look at the truth and whether or not we're curious to move forward with that, whether or not it could be a random past life person that comes into your life that you don't even know yet. Where are you going with that? There's a lot here that is bringing all of us to the table. And the positive in all this is I think that this is having us have a better look at how can we all start to communicate better and look at each other and be honest with each other while maintaining bridges. Because it's okay to not agree with people, and it's okay to say we're not going to be doing this anymore, whether it's business or love or whatever. But there's a diplomatic way about not having it to where you burn the bridge forever and, next thing you know, you're some crazy person on the road doing road rage on them, or you're stalking them, or whatever. And I'm going to put that little warning out there with this Mercury retrograde on Mars and the Sun, this new moon that's in quincunx to Uranus in Taurus. This can definitely be us knowing, I'm done. I'm done with my worth not being seen here, but how do we properly do that? And I think, properly, there's no book on that, but there is a spiritual understanding about how to really look deep inside yourself and go, this moon's going to be in Scorpio this week after this new moon. We're going to see these weird semi-squares, and they're very powerful with the moon, South Node, and Venus, semi-square to Mercury, Mars, Sun, and with Mercury retrograde. That we're going to have to find a way to not just be glossy and gloss them over. I'm sorry, you just can't lip gloss over the cold sore. I've never had a cold sore before, so I don't know what it looks like, but I can tell. And I can tell the people on camera who got it too. It's kind of gross. But hey, that's part of life, right? But you can't just put lip gloss over it and think it went away. And I think that we also can't just like gloss over things that we're not feeling our worth and our value. Remember that last lunation cycle, that new moon in Virgo was in trine to Uranus and Taurus. So now we're having the quincunx to Uranus and Taurus. And I feel that because Uranus is retrograde and because there's a lot of activity around just with Saturn coming direct this week and with Jupiter that's stationing still retrograde but getting ready to come online with Mercury retrograde, as we come into next weekend, I feel that we are at a point to where it's like, yes, negotiating our boundaries is one thing, but knowing our worth and all of us being like a big zit that's going to pop on people, being courteous enough to maybe pop it in the bathroom, and if you get it on that person's mirror, cleaning it off instead of popping it in their face or popping it on their mirror and leaving it there. It's like leaving your pubic hair on the toilet seat. Oh, well, I guess guys do that. I don't know. Like, you might not agree or you might not be at the right place with somebody, but this is not where you start. I already see it as an astrologer. I already see that this next month is just going to be where you're just going to see people like you never thought would not be in alignment, not in alignment, and people that you never thought would be in alignment. Especially because we are just look at the way this whole entire world has gone down. I mean, at this point, when you look at astrology like this, you're kind of like, oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, that's going to be an interesting chess match. Like, I didn't know that Mickey Mouse was going to go against Barney, and Barney's the champion lately. Like, what? You know, so it's definitely a beautiful part within ourselves, because we have to define ourselves not by who we're with, not by what our truth is. It's whether or not we can live with what the truth is and live with the people that we identify with in a place of centeredness. And it doesn't feel like anything is stable because Uranus and Taurus is always an unstable world. And that's the weird angle to this new moon, because not many people are going to pay attention to it. Most people are going to, look and put blame on politicians to, lots of different places in the world, right? Maybe they don't make the lip gloss that did cover your cold sore. Well, they stopped making it. Like, they're like unstable world. But that's the whole point, is like there's no stability with Uranus and Taurus since May of 2018 when it entered, May 15th, 2018. And I think it's important for us to, if you take politics for a second, like May 15th, 2018, Uranus comes in Taurus. Okay, we all went and saw a president get impeached right after that twice, like out of nowhere. It's like feeling like the government's unstable, or the president's unstable, or, the other side's unstable, or look at just the last coming up on 2 years of the spell that everybody's fallen under. Unstable this, unstable oil and gas, and unstable Congress and taxing. And what happened to Australia? I mean, it's a very unstable place. And nobody really wants to pay attention to quincunxes because they're odd. So it's like the Beverly Hillbillies. If you know that story, I know there's a lot of young kids, they don't know this shit. I feel like I'm getting old. The Beverly Hillbillies were hillbillies who found oil and struck gold from the oil, basically, and moved to Beverly Hills and didn't fit in. Well, things to them might have felt like it fit in, like, hey, that's the American dream. You make good energy, you make it in life, you make money, and you want to move where you want to move. They wanted to move to Beverly Hills, but the Beverly Hills people didn't like them there. It was kind of like a weird show to even put up because of the idea of that Beverly Hills didn't want hillbillies moving into Beverly Hills. That's a Neptune Pisces thing. And with Neptune and Pisces, you kind of have to realize, too, in the middle of all this, Mercury retrograde during this new moon is in quincunx to Neptune. And so there's a lot of uncertainty, and especially, I always say, a Libra and a Pisces try to go on a date. They both forgot there was a date. It's like, I always, when I did all my celebrity astrology years, and I think it was on, I forgot what network I was on, but it was like Gwyneth Paltrow and whatever that dude she was with from whatever that band is that's horrible, that's on everybody's iPhone. That guy and her, I was like, the only thing that's getting that relationship together is the managers of them. Oh, you two got a date tonight. Oh, we do? But that's Mercury retrograde, Neptune retrograde, and Pisces. It's like, wait, what? Like, I don't know. There's still a Mercury retrograde through this. So there's an overconfidence issue, but also realizing like all the facts, all the data, all the things that we're reweighing in our life. Well, when we see that Cassini moment with the Sun and Mars together, pretty powerful for Mercury's Cassini. And the last time we saw this powerful of a Cassini with Mercury, I would say would be the Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, well, not Jupiter, but Saturn, Pluto, Mercury, Sun, with, of course, Ceres, that was on January 12th, 2020, which brought us to, but also brought us apart from the world that we once lived. But that was that Saturn-Pluto conjunction. So this is going to be the closest resemblance to something like that. And does this kick the powers? In a lot of ancient astrology books, the only thing that could take down Capricorn is Libra. And that's because Saturn is exalted in Libra and the truth will always win. And so for those that don't have hope about the way that the world's going, this is the activation, even though it's with the Mercury retrograde and there's a quincunx to Uranus. And a quincunx to Neptune with Mercury retrograde. There's a lot that's going to actually defeat these powers that have become authoritarian tyrants all over the world. But you have to be in center and balance in your life, because if you're feeling so unstable, it's their instability that you're feeling and their crazy knee-jerk reactions to situations of control. With Pluto direct also now in Capricorn, we're being revealed so much. I mean, just today, Project Veritas and James O'Keefe brought out even more, and a whistleblower from one of the GMI's employees that's pretty high up with the emails of the vice president and what they didn't want you to know about it. Just came out. It's on YouTube. It's on everywhere. The 5th part of this series of The Spell Exposed. Replace spell with the word that's being used. And I think that this is going to be the justice that we all want to see. It's going to take time. It's a deep system here that is plagued, and that's the real plague, is the plague upon the system that they want you to keep running on a plague line with. Like, it's like, yeah, keep running this system. It's a good one. We have control with our plague. I also think that this week's really powerful because of the fact that not only is the Sun and Mars, of course, not happy in Libra, and we have a new moon with both here, right? So, but Venus is leaving out of its detriment, so at least it's going into Sag, but it's with the South Node. And then where does it go next? Capricorn, where it's going to retrograde on Pluto. So the Venus territory is getting weird. Venus is slowing down. I'll show you in the charts. And to kind of wrap up my channel, part of this first part before we go to the charts is that this is a time where the only planet that is at its full speed is Mars, because Mars is in exactly opposite the Earth right now. So Mars, a year ago, retrograded, and it retrograded in Aries, and it was in Aries the whole time. And I did a special last year called Battle of the Gods, where I don't even know how long that took me. It did take me a while, but I had to run every chart to see if we would ever run in. When was the last time that Mars stayed in Aries the whole time and retrograded, and it squared Saturn in Capricorn, or did it ever square Saturn, Pluto, Jupiter, or did it ever square Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn? And I found a lot of Libra Mars squares to that kind of stuff. I didn't find many. And the last time that I saw even close to anything that we went through in 2020, which I'm going to tell you why this is important, is the Apostle Paul and the Acts that he wrote, and he was on the wrong side of the tracks, right? He was set to go and find the disciples of Jesus and hunt them down, and said no, and switched teams. Why is this important? Because if you look at the year that we've had since Mars retrograde, Mars went direct after its retrograde, and it's stationed direct at 15 degrees of Aries. Well, Mars now is in its fastest speed. It's exactly opposite Earth, and that will be at 15 of Libra. And this is where we're going to see the sun. This is where we're going to see then Mercury retrograde, the sun and Mars conjunct. This is where we're seeing this new moon at 13 degrees. We're seeing all this energy in the opposite part. Also, the last time that Mars, the closest that we had Mars retrograde in Aries was in 1941, which then right after was Pearl Harbor. The cyber attacks that happened on America in December of 2020 are no joke. They're no joke. And with all this Mars activity, and with all this stuff going on, we need to find our cool, because the world is going to look crazier. But it's all to bring justice to it. It's all to bring the truth out. It's all for us to learn as spiritual beings that are in this moment, in a very tiny moment of a massive macro universal time scale, to learn to find center with the divine. To learn to find people that we connect with, that nobody's perfect. You know, Married with Children might be one of the best shows that ever came out. It showed a lot of parts of things where you're like, I don't know if I'd ever want to be in that relationship. But it made you look at your own and see, are they really happy? And at the end of it, whether you have your hand down your pants like Al Bundy and you sell women's shoes, if that's your center of balance and that's what makes you feel good, and you love your relationship and it's a beautiful thing, this is where you realize that. We're all not perfect. We're all not, the concept of a belief when it comes to relationships is a big one right now, with Venus coming into Sag, with the South Node, the moon, and also with so many planets just not really doing anything. It's very odd, but we have to look at that. And the moon this week's going to be not only in its fall position in Scorpio, then it comes into Sag with the South Node and with the Venus, and is going to try and gloss everything over. That's like, everything's fine, even though all this stuff has to be brought up. Then it's going to come into Capricorn and square the Sun and Mars as we end the week on Tuesday on the 12th. And it's going to be a big bang one, because it's going to be at 20 degrees and Pluto's close by there. And we're getting ready for Sun square Pluto. We're getting ready for, we're ready for Mercury to come direct. We're ready for Jupiter to come direct, but they're not direct this week. And so, we're going to have 6 days after that, coming on the 18th. Around there, we're going to see Mercury and Jupiter come direct together. And I'm just really wanting people to see that the beliefs of society, the beliefs of relationships, the beliefs in all directions are all being shattered. And I'm going to show you that in the charts. So let's take a look at these charts right now. All right. So I wanted to show you what this is looking like. Here's October 6th, this new moon happening right now. And look at that. There's that Earth opposing Mars. Look at that Mercury is coming in alignment, and there's that moon. So let's take a little underbelly look there. Let's get real close. So as you can see, of course it focuses on the sun, but if we look at it from this angle, right? There's that Mercury Earth that's going to align when we come into the 10th, or whenever the weekend is. So 6th, the 9th. So we're going to see the Cassini with Mars right here. Yeah, the 9th. And then how do we know that? Because let's back up and let's look from Mars angle. Bang. So see that alignment? And we're having the new moon one first, but this one to me is a lot more special, meaning rare. I think a new moon on Mars is rare, and I think it's, of course, weird to have the sun and Mars in both debilitated places. But to see Mercury retrograde meet up with this, which really it's just the Cassini moment of Mercury passing Earth for this year, the third time this year. That, it's one of those things in life where you just don't see this. And, if you just look out there on the horizon to the left, you see Spica, right? That's the judge of Libra. That's the star that rules Libra, right? And so I think it's really important for us to remember that the judge is watching. The divine judgment is watching us in our lives. Also, it's interesting to see from Earth's point of view here how, okay, now Mercury's passing, we just had a new moon, and then here's Venus. So the Venus retrograde's coming soon, folks. Venus is faster than us. And Venus is hightailing her way into gonna pass Earth. There's a lot starting to pass Earth. There's also Mars, which is in direct opposition, exact to Earth. So this is intense. And this is also, Mars is exactly where Earth was last year, but it would have been behind Earth, and it would have been Earth passing Mars. Now we are back to the same place, but Mars is not to be found. You can't see Mars up in the sky anymore. Now Mars is directly opposing this, and Mercury too. There's a message coming through this to your life about what to take action with in your life. And Mars is the fastest planet. So we're going to take a look at the charts now. And we're going to come into this Wednesday new moon real quick, just so you can see from a two-dimensional level here. So, yeah, here's that sun, moon, Mars. I wanted to show you all, with the moon being there, smushed between the sun and Mars with no room at all. So, that triple conjunction there is pretty powerful. And then there's Mercury retrograde at 20 degrees, right? And see that semi-square that's been building right here? From the south node over to the sun, moon, Mars, right? So this is the hard spot, is especially in relationships with your center of balance, if you're going off, I believe it should look this way and it should be that way. It's not going to go well for you. And Venus is finishing in Scorpio here and about to come into Sag this week and be with the south node. We also have Pluto that is coming direct, of course, today, which it did. And so quite interesting. Also, this new moon was opposed Chiron, right? So, this is where we don't want to keep getting lost in, I think, a lot of the weird stuff that we can get caught up into. I've been using, if you're not on High Vibe, Beauty and the Beast as the example of how the Beast has his little rose, and he's just, so weird about it. I wonder if I have, I don't think I saved images on here, but, continuing to kind of make that your story. The Beast holds on to that story that he's been spelled with this curse by a witch. We can't keep holding on to stories, especially with the South Node and Sag and with Venus that's coming here to try and make us feel good. But this is a North Node in Gemini. This is Mercury's time. This is Mercury's 18 months out of its 19-year cycle. And the Gemini version of it with truth. And Mercury is about to meet with these powerful energies. So, this is a time for us to really look at the real truth of things, communication, and basing it off fresh new energy instead of old, retired, AARP, senior menu beliefs. That 2 eggs should always be in one price or something. Like it just. And I only say that because, the South Node and Sag definitely rules kind of, Sag itself rules the wise one or the philosopher, the elder. And I think that that teaches us. But I almost feel like right now, it's so funny. And I'm not dogging on old people because trust me, my Oma last year died and she had an Instagram, Facebook in 94. My other grandmother, and she's still alive. God bless that. I'm so blessed. She's going to be 92, and she's on Facebook liking my posts, and she knows what's up. I can call her and tell her what's up and stuff like that. But there's people, it doesn't matter what age you are, who have this kind of elderly, this is the way things should be, including, El Presidente. Well, let's look at Thursday here. So we're going to have that Sun Mars conjunction to finally get very close, and we are going to see the Sun and Mars coming together Thursday, because if we look at the speeds, you can see right here Mars is at its full speed. Okay, 39 minutes is the fastest Mars you'll ever see. We have Venus entering Sag. See, it's only doing 1 degree and 5 seconds, 5 minutes a day. That's very rare. I mean, when Venus is at its full speed, she's going much faster than that. She's up in the teens. And so, we're already seeing the slowdown of Venus. Mercury's faster than Venus in its retrograde, put it that way, from Earth's point of view. Saturn only doing 19 seconds a day. And then, of course, Pluto now direct, only doing 2 seconds, but now moving forward. That last 6 months was quite a lot, and it's been a year since you've seen Pluto come direct in your life and make change. The moon's going to be in Scorpio. I feel Thursday, to me, is kind of one of those days where, okay, a new moon happened, and then the moon comes into Scorpio. Like, oh, shit gets real quick about what to define our lives with. Mercury comes off that that quincunx over to Neptune, and it's like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Okay. So there's a lot more clarity, I think, coming. I think the new moon's a little bit like, and Venus coming out of its detriment, but in Sag definitely wants a wider scope and wider view. But with the South Node being the dispositor of Jupiter, and Jupiter's still retrograde, hasn't come direct yet at 22. I don't know. That moon also is going to square over to Saturn, which is ready to come direct, but it's not. It's really slow. So there's going to be some harsh reality checks here. And you might feel really tired after this new moon with Mars, feel like you had a lot of energy, and then it's like, where'd it go? Oh, I didn't get enough sleep, and da-da-da-da. It's like the universe is doing all this in your life. As an astrologer, I just laugh, like, especially people who really don't follow the astrology. I'll tell them, I'll be like, yeah, you're not probably going to sleep. Sun and Mars are conjuncting, like, or it'll be like a moon in Aries. I'll be like, yeah, you're probably not going to sleep tonight. And they're like, I should have gotten more. It's like, you should have what? You should have Just that's the universe. Do you think that that's what they did back in the day? Like, I should have done this more. Jeez. No, they were a lot more wise back then. So if you get tired, your adrenals are pumping, whether you try to counter it with something else or not. And this moon in Scorpio is intense because Pluto's now direct. So we're going to feel it, be ready for change in what we're identifying with, relationships, and trying to have a much more wider view of things. And things are going to come into a massive, massive karmic zone because the new moon's completed. Venus and the South Node are together. The moon's in Scorpio, squaring Saturn, going, what's this karma for the future that you're going to bring? I want to know. That moon and that emotion part of ourself wants to figure that out. I want to know. Hey, what's going to happen? Saturn's like, shut up. Like, I have got a lot of things going on here in my little experiment lab here for the future. You're not allowed in here yet, yo. And that moon Scorpio wants it all. Like, I want it all. It's like, no, you can't get in here yet. But it can also bring up harsh decisions, which are going to be, that's harsh, okay? The moon's at fall. Saturn's at home. Let's look at some points here in essential dignities. I mean, we're seeing a moon at -4 fully, not by position. Sun's already at fall. Look at that. So the sun and moon are at fall. Should probably do that a little smaller. So, right? Okay. Venus, though, out of it's not debilitated anymore, but it's with the south node, even though it likes the south node, but no. Mars, ooh, yeah, it's with the sun, and it's in detriment. So some detrimental energy still going on, and Jupiter's just kind of neutral, and look at that, Saturn's +8. So don't try emotionally to start playing woe is me and start hanging out at the Weeping Clam all day. At least that Sun-Mars energy is coming off of that quincunx over to Uranus a little bit. Yeah, it's finally doing a little bit something. But, you know, the other thing that I didn't get to bring up, because there's a lot of astrology going on, is the semi-square between Saturn and Neptune. Now, I've talked to you all for years about this Uranus and Neptune semi-square and the fake media and all that shit, because that shit's true. Media against the people. Well, now we're seeing the media and the government in collusion. Neptune, semi-square Saturn. And especially with the Aquarian part, the science or communities. Any communities that the government's aligning with right now, I would have a lot of suspicion. That's why the moon's going to have some trouble. You're going to have their suspicions because it's not conspiracy. It's truth. Sorry to say that Neptune's in semi-square to Saturn. I can't change that one for people who don't want to believe that shit by looking at the facts. Remember that Uranus in retrograde and Saturn retrograde, they're moving closer back to finish this Saturn-Uranus square that we've been going through all year. And this reality is going to be shattered for a lot of people. A lot of love energy going on. Eros and Icarus at 5 degrees of Capricorn. Talk about wanting to get all hot and heavy and make it serious and try and fly with your wings to the sun and have them burn off. You don't care. With this big energy of Sun, Mars, and Libra and Venus now in Sag with the South Node, oh boy. I think there's going to be a lot of relationship hopping. I'm just being real. With the moon and Scorpio too. Like, I don't want you anymore. I've really been talking to this other person. But I won't say that. I just don't like you. It's me, not you. That kind of shit. Definitely weird. I'm not going to say everybody's going to go through that, but you're going to be seeing a lot of that. Let's take a look at Friday. Friday, that Sun-Mars is still together. Sun's now past Mars because on Thursday they meet up. And Mercury retrograde's getting close. But that moon in Scorpio, 20 degrees, is going to make a trine over here to Neptune, and then it's going to square over to Jupiter. So this moon's going through a lot. Our emotions this whole week are going to go through a lot. Not only is it a new moon with Mars in Libra, trying to find your center, even emotionally and with your sun and what you identify with. But this is a lot for you to emotionally process things in life and having to go through tension and good stuff and listening to the divine and listening to your gut's going to be everything emotionally right now. It's interesting to see that Pluto direct, not red no more. Of course, I set up my chart like this. But that's why you should get Astro Gold. North node's at 2 degrees here, and that south node's at 2 degrees, and there's Venus ready to come on top of that south node. That's not a lucky horseshoe, sorry to say. Although it can be if you're willing to look at the truth and start from fresh and new energy, and you're not wanting to hold on to the past. This could be a lot of exes getting back together, too, with Mercury retrograde. But the emotions are going to be going through a lot the whole week. As we come into Saturday, here's the triple conjunction. Mars, Mercury retrograde is casening the sun, and this is the chart I showed you in the 3-dimensional chart in the Helio. And then that moon, south node, Venus, all at 2. That is an exact semi-square. That is intense. I know it's off by 2 degrees, about 44 degrees, off by a degree, but still, from an exact semi-square, 45. But, this is a kink in the hose, because we have to look at the truth, that north node. And if you notice, there is not a lot of aspects happening, believe it or not. But, this is definitely one of those transits where emotionally the fruit is definitely feeling like the best on Saturday, but it's going to bring up a lot. And it's going to bring up a lot for you to face, especially when it comes to, trying to find peace and be positive, but how you're going to move forward into a new environment, a new reality with your life, with people. And this is going to be quite the show. To me, this is the star chart. This is the chart of the week, because this is the chart that's like, whoa. Wow, this is a major moment in my life. This is a major moment in my life to be positive, to find center, but to look and find remember where the truth is. And truths can be deeply revealed with that moon and Venus opposing the north node, and with Mercury retrograde on the sun and Mars. Sunday on the 10th, still got Jupiter retrograde, and Saturn turns direct at 7:17 p.m., 10:17 Eastern. So Saturn's direct. We are seeing Mercury come off that real quick. Mercury's flying at this point by Sunday. Look at this. Mercury retrograde. It was, well, you know what? Let's look at the day prior. Yeah, Mercury's at 110. And then it comes to 107, so it's starting to slow down. It's like, whoa, I can't go much farther here. I start putting the brakes on because I'm Speedy Gonzales. I think they canceled Speedy Gonzales. Sad. Moon and Juno going to be together, and Juno and Venus, Juno and the moon, but the moon and Juno are going to be starting to square Neptune. So I would say false relationships could be glossed over really easy during this period. I also think, at the same token, that with Mercury retrograde now going to start quincunxing Uranus, you guys stand your ground for yourself and know what's best for yourself, and not base it off some sort of weird belief, because Saturn is testing you. And now with Saturn direct, we can start to move the real shows forward in life. And that's kind of weird coming after Saturday with two triple conjunctions that are in semi-square. And then moving into Sunday and going, whoa. Like Venus comes off the south node, and the moon, of course, but also there's that Mercury separation real fast from the sun and Mars, which are like, we're going forward. Mercury's like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. That was a lot. You guys both gave me. Not only did the king, but the commander gave a message to try and diplomat something. And Mercury's like, this world's crazy. I'm looking at Uranus right now, retrograde and quincunx. It's unstable as fuck. And you want me to try and figure out harmony and stabilize it? And you're kind of yelling at me? Okay. That's kind of the energy for all of us. And then Saturn's turning direct, and Mercury's like, what the heck? Oh, man. But with Saturn and Pluto now direct, within the same week, in the same lunation cycle, it's kind of interesting to think of the Saturn-Pluto last year that not only came together, but, of course, then when they came direct, to see the same spell just be dropped harder. When it comes to truth, though, there's something to say about, for the people and for the systems that are not working, not only in our lives, but in the world, the government, and society at large. Oh, boy. This is the justice I think that we are looking to have. But you have to remember that the Sun and Mars are giving their message to the page that's looking at an unstable world and trying to figure out some crazy things going on. And Saturn here has been retrograde going, let's see if society figures this whole thing out or not. Now that it's direct, Saturn's going to restore order to society. And with Pluto there, the big question is whether or not people are going to decide how society is, or people that think they're in control that are a small number that also are living in a South Node Sag world. So, I got a feeling, from all angles of this, you got to learn to realize we've been through lots of tests, but lots of tests to whether or not we as people are truly seeing. With Saturn direct, it's going to activate that semi-square really powerfully to Neptune, while the moon is going to be aspecting that. But the moon will be in sextile to Jupiter. So I would say there's like a softer energy to the Saturn direct. Saturn direct can feel good because it can feel like, oh, okay, I'm getting grip on shit again. And especially there's not a lot of grip tape right now in life, okay? Slipping a lot. And what the hell? It's Banana Peel Central and, Mario Kart. And red shells are after you all day. And they're not only doing that, but they got, a star, so they're invincible. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm getting hit. But this kind of feels like, okay, they hooked me, and the little cloud guy, the little cloud turtle's bringing me back into the game here. And a lot of this is getting the game with who? And that's a big question. Not only is it who in your personal life, but who's doing this weird shit out there in the world? Like, who is the people that are doing all this weird shit? Because with Saturn and Pluto together now, not in the same sign, but they are now coming direct within the same week in the same lunation cycle. That there's a lot about, look at last year in Saturn and Pluto, and this time, now having them separated, now having them come direct in separate signs. That has not happened yet. This is the first time that has happened. So the last time that could have happened would have been in 1984, when Saturn and Pluto went direct in separate signs after the 82 and 83 Saturn, Pluto, and Libra. I'm good. Saturn did come back. Pluto came back into Libra just for July and August of 1984. And Saturn stayed in Scorpio, and both went direct in separate signs. Last time that happened, I was born in July of 84. And it was a North Node in Gemini. Around these degrees, too. So that was starting to look back like, what just happened with HIV? What just happened with this AIDS thing? What just happened with this? The world started changing. Financial deals were made in 83 and 84. Like, this is going to be a lot, folks. Corn pops behind everything. October 11th on Monday. I know a lot of October 11ths in my life. So if you're October 11th, happy birthday to you. You've been my best friends and some of the best lovers and some of the best everything in my life. I just want to wish you all happy birthday. It's kind of weird. October 11th people in my life have been like the one birthday that's been the most for me in my life. Moon in Capricorn now starting to make squares to all this Libra stuff, right? At the same token, though, we are starting to see Venus here getting ready for sextiles with Saturn, which that's going to bring, with a Saturn direct now, some sort of energy of like, if we look at coming into next week, right, after these this lunation after this triple conjunction multiple times in semi-square, and we're looking at the astrology and we're looking at things kind of like, okay, this moon in Capricorn's wanting to kind of get some sort of grip and control. Pluto's now direct in there, and the moon's kind of like, okay, like I'm ready to play Saturn game. Saturn's direct, okay. But Saturn also is in Aquarius, and Jupiter's not direct. So there is this kind of like harshness, but also harshness can mean like if you don't want to do anything and you want to stay suspended as the hangman or something with all this Libra, for you to really start to kind of get back into gear here fully, not just back on the track, but back into gear in your life here. I think also in the world we're going to start to see the media and stuff start to try and say with the semi-square, like, oh, yeah, look at things are looking like they're coming back up. Forget about everything that happened during this whole entire retrograde that's been crazy of Saturn and retrograde. That didn't all happen. There's going to be, as I predicted in 2019, I said everybody in 9/11, you know, was like, you were unpatriotic unless you voted for the war and went and did the Patriot Act. And then, you know, years later, it's kind of like, what do you mean? I wasn't part of that. That's what everybody's going to do years from now, and there's going to be a little bit of that in the media starting Monday. You watch people going to be like, oh, yeah, that's not looking too good, but, you know, we knew that. Remember? Everybody's going to be like, what? What? A lot of exposing going on. But the big one to me is, as we finish this week on Tuesday, the 12th, because that moon in Capricorn is going to square the sun exactly. We're going to have the waxing square in that first quarter square, and that moon's going to be close to Pluto direct and Saturn direct, and we're getting ready as we come into deep astrology next week on High Vibe, the moon with Pluto and Saturn now direct. We're going to really feel the big shift moving forward. We're getting close to that Mercury coming out of retrograde. Mars and the sun getting closer, of course, to the last degrees of Libra, but the sun has now started to break away from the opposition, if you understand where the sun and Mars are actually properly placed from the sun, but and also the Earth and Mars from the sun. But geo-wise, we're moving away from Mars and the combustion of Mars. So there's I would say when Venus is sextile Saturn at the same time, you know, who? I'm not talking about the who people. I'm talking about who feels like the future and who has been trying to kind of infiltrate the future in the world with belief systems. And also you have to decide on if you're being fair and balanced to yourself, because the sun is getting ready for its trine to Jupiter, but just like we got right when Jupiter went retrograde, right when that solstice was going on, the sun was trining Jupiter when it just stationed retro. How funny, the sun's going to trine Jupiter as it's stationed retro, not direct. I was born in that progressed period where when I just had it last year, my progressed sun trined my natal Jupiter. That was when it was stationing to direct, but not yet. I actually next month in November have my progressed Jupiter come direct in my natal chart, in my progressed chart. So that'll be interesting. But I can tell you that there's similarities to 1984 astrologically, not just the book. If anything, maybe Orwell was a fucking crazy ass astrologer who saw some of the same shit. And what's really weird is in 2021, the same astrological patterns of Saturn and Pluto, the sun and Jupiter are all, and they were in different signs though, are all doing the same thing. You will not hear that anywhere else, and I dare you to try and look it up yourself. I did that in my head. But dare you to find anybody else bring that up or even correlate that. Bet you won't find it. or a spiritual dance music after. Sorry, I'm public on YouTube, and it's just like this. The astrology community is a joke to me now. So I'm just like, this is my Mars coming out, like of unfair justice to all these astrologers, just giving you guys shit. There's some good ones, don't get me wrong, but most of them are giving you shit. They won't even give you that extra time. They won't lean back in the chair and sit and talk to you, fireside chat, or you know what, club side chat, and break it down to you like that. This is the Helio. Of course, if you used to watch Deep Astrology on YouTube, of course, now it's exclusive on High Vibe. But with the sun at the center of the chart, by the time we get to the end of this week, Tuesday on October 12th, guess what? Here's Saturn now in Aquarius at 12 and 23 minutes, and here's Uranus at 12 and 31 minutes. The shadow reality is coming. Saturn has not squared Uranus yet in Helio. If you haven't been on High Vibe, you haven't been seeing every week what I'm telling people, and every day what I'm telling people, that look at all this stuff happening in the Geo, but look at what's happening in the Helio. Saturn Uranus are about to square. And you know what's so crazy? Oh, Mercury, which does about 3.5 degrees a day, in 2 days after that, as that Saturn Uranus is about to square next week, Mercury's going to be on top of Uranus too. It's going to be shocking. And when you see Mars in alignment in Helio with the Geo, that's because it's in a perfect synchronistic form of its fastest speed on Earth. Look at it, and now see it's starting to trail down, because now, as I showed you the last chart, 18 degrees Mars, now it's at 17. But look at this, Pluto at 25, 28. Pluto has not hit 26 yet in Helio, and we're getting that too as the shadow reality is coming. And actually, I already did the chart of 1776, and it was a Helio Pluto at 26. Of course, we all know it was a Pluto on Geo at 27 retrograde. That retrograde and that Pluto reaching the exact half degree of 26 is going to be in June of 2020. So from now to June of 2020, when we're going to start seeing these planets turn retrograde and all that stuff, is when the shadow reality that's coming this week is going to, it's going to feel like at least some pieces of shard glass are out of our eyeballs and our noses and everything. Venus this week heading on her way to Jupiter. Not there yet. I don't know if you know. Maybe, again, you don't see a lot of astrologers out there on YouTube doing this shit. Jupiter is at 2 degrees already still of Pisces. That's actually the shadow position that retrograded on the Geo. So, but there's really no correlation there yet. So, goes to show you how far behind we are. The ethereal already is on the spiritual train, and Venus is about to go there. But there's some big relationship things going on as we're building up. We're in between Saturn and Jupiter. Remember, Jupiter and Saturn are already separated from the Helio perspective. But as we are moving through this course, we are moving in through a hypergate here of a midpoint between Saturn and Jupiter with Venus right now. And so we're getting on the better side of the tracks with Venus coming towards Jupiter. So I see a lot more positive things to be focused on with relationships this week. There's going to be us leaving the downside ones and not being too stuck there, because at least God's kind of bringing us the more beautiful things that are coming up there. Final things to say, if I had to just say it overall, this is a week, of course, for balance and harmony in relationships and so forth, but at the same time, this is a time for you in your life to really go, it's time for me to take the action. Saturn's coming direct. We got Sun, Mars. We got Mercury retrograde, Sun, Mars. We got Moon, Venus, South Node in Sag. We got Pluto direct. We've got transits that have not happened this way, exact form, since 1984, and it is an Orwellian 1984 world, and the astrology proves it yet again. So I just want to say that do not buy into the 1984 world. You have to let this reality shatter and find your center through it. Find your balance. Find your little honey bun that's going to be next to you, or your donkey dick next to you. I don't know. Whatever you call it. But find your daddy. Find your mommy. Maybe literally your mom and dad. And have the peace and the fun and the beauty and the spark of knowing this world was what the past world was, and how can we bridge this to a better future now, and not by the ways that are being shown on the media or being told to us by corporations. And that's not because I'm just saying that because that's a talking point on the news. That's because Neptune is semi-square Uranus and Saturn's coming direct, or but what the government is saying. So no. This is what the people, and this is what you and your truth and those that have common-like energies and curious thoughts and are questioning life and are questioning the world are the truth bringers. And all of us have a seat at this table. But for some reason, a lot of people have created their own table and their own belief systems, hanging out with, I don't know, the Vatican, 300,000 kids fucking in France. Wow, that's a place to trust. You're going to put your trust in the Pope? Or are you going to put your trust in Pope Fauci? I don't think so. I don't think so. Too many questions around that. Too many disgusting aspects about that. Now, if I ask anybody, since I did give this show out for free today, I just want to say, like, go watch. You might be like, I don't want to watch it. Even those that don't like me and the astrologers that don't like me watch this when I put this shit out. I dare you to go watch the Project Verity. Go to their website or go on their YouTube. Go watch the exposing of the Part 5 series that was just done. I dare you to look at all those people that they have exposed and caught, and the whistleblowers that have put out for humanity information that we all need to know about the lies that are being told to us. And I dare you to have a conscience about it. I dare you to actually be on the table with humanity of truth, and not this woke table that literally you didn't even create. You were spelled into it by the media, by your social media, and you are living in a woke-topian table, and you are being served woke-topian food. This is not Neverland, so the food is not going to be delicious and just show up out of nowhere, because you have to be in happiness and in love in Neverland as a lost boy to have that show up. I'm sorry, you are not eating anything. You're eating the air that you believe is so toxic with airborne transmission. Happy new moon with Mars in Libra. Those who have the swords of truth will win. And my most important thing I want to tell you to finish this before we go to spiritual dance music, where I'm just going to pull the cards because we've already done the astrology, and I'm going to do the prayer. But you have to realize this is where you want to be on the right side of history. You want to be on the right side of history. You want to be on the right side of humanity. You want to be on the right side, okay? Like, you want to be on the side that's righteous. You want to be on the side that's of truth, and that's for the best, for equality for all people. Not equity, equality. They've changed that on you. What? It's not, you don't have equity in your house? The market changes. When they start using money terms for you to follow, is there enough equity here? You're a commodity at that point, not a human. You're being liquidated, literally, with liquid. Liquid poison is what the term of virus is, the Latin original root. Liquid poison. So let's get to spiritual dance music, where I drop the bombs, I drop the deep astrology, and then I give you the uplifting part of it. We're going to go into that right now. I appreciate you all very much. Make sure that you join highvibe.tv. And if you want to go through, I just completed HYPERGATE, my 8-week course. This is an 8-week course that will get you out of this woketopia, but more importantly, the divine's truth, the evidence, and also how to channel and to see how we get through the changing of this new age into the age of Aquarius. Nobody's ever done anything like this before. I'm sure there's people in this chat or people that can put under the comments of this that have been through it that can tell you it'll blow your mind forever. And it was an 8 weeks that not only changed my life, not only from the school, but actually events that I was using to prove to people how powerful and how precise this work can be, including even when my father passed. I literally said, I don't know, this is going to be the craziest week of my life. And on this day, this will be the day that will change my life forever. And it happened on that course. That's how accurate that course is about showing you not just being an astrologer, but to truly listen to the divine in all different ways. So I appreciate you all very much. I appreciate you always for supporting me. I appreciate all those that just always continue to send me support through these times where I'm not going to hold the victim story, but I am somebody that is being attacked constantly and being shoveled to the side by my own astrology community. And if Stephen Forrest wants to reach out to me after the exposing of what is in the emails that is being injected into people, and maybe have some accountability to why I was questioning, why I was like telling his audience, get this, it's just like every other thing that you get, and it's not. I'm always open to have a talk. Instead of putting me down and making lies and saying that I was calling you old and all this kind of crazy stuff and then blocking me like a little girl. I appreciate you all. Spiritual dance music time.
$1 million.
What is going on, everyone? It is David Palmer, Leo King, and we are here for spiritual dance music for this new moon in Libra on October the 6th of 2021. It is, of course, what? Pluto direct as well. This is, of course, the show where I am going to... Well, I just did give you the astrology of deep astrology, so we're just going to do an intention about what to do with this new moon. And then, of course, I'm going to pull the tarot, and then we're going to do the prayer and go right into the mix. So this is going to be pretty quick. You just got a long, deep astrology there. What's the intention on this new moon? Balance and peace. And to not think that a chaotic and unstable world is not still within the divine's beauty itself. And the only way to understand true balance and peace in this life is through seeing when things get out of whack. And the beauty that is, that perfection is in what we think is unique and different, opposed to what we believe is the only way to be perfect. So let's see what's in the tarot cards, because I'm so used to doing so much astrology on this show. Just gave you a lot. Give me one sec. So, like, I know there's this.
I know that it's a new moon in Libra. Oh, there we are. Oh my God! You know, it's a Libra new moon, so we're gonna do the tarot for this Libra new moon. I know all the Libras are pissed at me right now. Like, if I had to pick a voice for Libra, this would be it. If I had to pick for Scorpio,
Hey, how you doing? hey, don't forget it's almost Scorpio season, motherfuckers.
Anyway, let's see what's going on in the cards for this new lunation of this new moon in Libra with Mars. Holy moly, it's going to be a big month. First card that we pulled here is, well, we did get the Hierophant in reverse. Well, old traditions and stuff are coming down, old belief systems. That's a good thing, I think. We're about to find some clarifying on this, but definitely also, you know, it can be kind of hard to define what tradition to go to, what belief to go to, or what to believe in anymore. It kind of feels like things are kind of all up in the air. I mean, I just said it on Deep Astrology, 300,000 kids, like, oh, and the Pope just says sorry? Pope card reversed? Yeah, he should be reversed. Second card that we got here is Two Swords reversed. Oh, wow. Well, I think we're leaving a lot of belief systems and traditions and the way that things are, because this Two of Swords reversed is saying, I'm not confused. I actually know exactly what the fuck I'm doing. I'm not going to put the blindfold onto things. There's a lot of like crossroads that are no longer crossroads. I feel like we're in this paradigm inside of saying, I know what I want in my life. I don't really want to do this anymore, and I want to go do that. I'm not going to sit anymore and go, well, should I do this or should I do that? So there's going to be, I think that people give Libra too much of the whole indecision. Libra's also known when they know what they want more than a lot of, I would say more than any other sign, because, you know, they can sit in indecision for a long time or process a lot of evidence, but then once they get it, it's like, oh, yep, totally on that one. Our challenge card that we got here is the Queen of Pentacles in reversed. Well, there's a lot of energy just feeling not supported by, but the challenge is really, I think, that we're supported, and that this feeling that we can't manifest what we want is kind of, I think, like an old story of self-worth stuff coming up. I feel like we're purging a lot of old self-worth issues and finding a lot more confidence in ourselves, but the challenge could be that, you know, as you step forward into these new energies that you're excited about, that you're ready to put down those old ways, those old beliefs, those old traditions. There is this kind of like, well, am I going to be supported if I move into this new energy? Yes, you are. I know it's an unstable world, but it's about learning to find balance. And, you know, is anything ever really stable? I mean, you know, gosh, every time I go to the bathroom, there's never enough toilet paper, you know? It's unstable since I was born. Queen of Cups reversed. We got two queenies popping out in both reversed. I don't think this is going to be a good month for the queen. Just saying that one. Or we're going to find out more about what's really been going on with Queenie. What's been going on with Queenie? I know I had a phone, and I know I had here all this. Queen of Cups reversed. I'm feeling that this is the overall here. We're done feeling not supported emotionally anymore. Now, we have to support ourselves emotionally first. But when a Queen of Cups is here, she's willing to hold a lot for us. And this is, again, I'm going to get a little clarifier on this Queen of Cups. Ooh, yeah, Judgment reversed. Woo! Well, yeah, definitely. I hate to say it. There is a Venus in Scorpio here that we are going through on this new moon. You know, energy where it doesn't feel like there's this deeper wanting to really come into things and support one another, whether it's any kind of people, love, work, friendship, anybody. If it doesn't feel like it's just like emotionally supportive on your journey and your mission this life, what you feel called for, or if they just feel like they're soulless, like there's a lot of energy where we're like, there's no soul here. And I'm not just talking about people, just environments, energies, traditional things that you've been doing. It's like, this is like kind of like a person on drugs getting off drugs, not serving me anymore. But about, for all of us in our life, these kind of traditional ways we've been running through the gamut of life and everything, and we're not feeling emotionally supported, and we might be a little afraid, like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to do it because I've been relying upon this, but the reliant upon it isn't making us happy. So it's almost like we're going to support ourselves much more, but I feel like this is definitely us realizing we support ourselves by disconnecting and just letting it fall away from putting energy that's not supporting us. And that usually starts with ourselves. Where are we not supporting ourselves better? Emotionally, and especially about a bigger judgment in life, which is a bigger calling. Our spiritual advice card that we got is the Seven of Wands reverse. So yeah, energy where there's just no valor, there's no passion, there's no drive to really do these powerful things. We got a lot of reversals here. I think every card was reversed. We are flipping the script in life, and we really want to find that higher ground. It could feel like everything's coming at us, but really, spiritual advice is like, no, nothing's coming at you unless you choose it to come at you. Like, if you want to stay in the position where everything's just coming at you all the time and in a bad way, that's your choice. But I think that this is also a moment for us to realize, like, nothing, we have the high ground, and let's not forget about that. And we have the higher up. We're leveling up in our life always. And if we're at such a good leveling up, then really, yeah, things could come at us, but they can't touch us. Let's get some confirmation cards here with the Avalon. We got, wow, birth and rebirth. I'm definitely feeling this, not only this new birthing process, but then being rebirthed again over. So it's almost like this feels so new, but then I'm rebirthing myself within the birth of something new. Oh my gosh. And we got the serpent, which is, of course, knowledge. But, I it is healing. I feel like this is kind of like a moment of healing, but not the sense of what we usually do. It's shedding the skin. And if we didn't shed the skin, we'd probably not be a happy snake. It'd be like if we saw a serpent that just chose not to shed its skin and just keep putting layer upon layer. And it was just like, it was on Serpent Hoarders, the new reality show. I don't know if you've seen it. That's like 40 layers of skin not shed. And you got to convince the serpent to go to intervention to start shedding its skin to heal. This is us like that, shedding off the layers that no longer serving us in this awesome birth and rebirth process. There's both happening. And we got focusing on the trail that really is taking us out of the woods and into the open. That's what I like about this card. So it's like there's finally a gap. There's finally, light out of the end of the tunnel is one thing, but there's always a sewer port to get out of in the sewer systems. I think this focus on where's the door opening. It's like. There's a lot of trees in life. There's a lot of things, and we're wondering if this is right. But there's like, wait, there's a whole other field over here. And I feel like that's where we're moving towards. I'm going to put a clarifying card on that focus. Oh, wow, Ace of Cups upright. There's our first upright card, and it's Ace of Cups, this renewal of our emotional life. It's definitely juicy, definitely not hanging out at the... Definitely not hanging out at Wokeville, especially at the Sad Clam. I like it. I'm gonna pull a clarifier for the for love for people. We got the cow, nourishment, abundance, asking and receiving. That's an interesting card here because there's a lot that this cow represents as stability. But also, you have to ask in order to receive. So I think it's important for that. There's a lot of nourishment that comes through there. The clarifying card with that is Ace of Swords. Wow, ultimate truth. 2 aces upright, back to back. This is all new energy. Even with that birth, rebirth card. I know people want to know about love. We got Lady of the Lake, so she's setting things up. She is the ultimate of all high priestesses. But it's absolute truth, courage, self-respect, responsibility. Remember, she also does give Arthur the Excalibur, which it's interesting seeing that we do have an Ace of Swords here in our love department here. So it's like whatever feels like the ultimate truth, but we also have to ask and receive. You just can't just be expecting things, and you also can't be just asking thing and not getting anything in return. Like, it's definitely going to be one of those, like, finding a good balance, finding the balance. And when it comes to just spiritually overall, I'm going to just pick one more Avalon card and one more clarifying to combine all these things. What's our greatest lessons to this moment in this new moon time? The King. Man, authority, male sexual energy, things pertaining to the law and justice. Wow, that's what I was just saying in deep astrology, not the whole man thing, but definitely the energy of justice coming in. But, there's going to be a lot. I was saying in the charts, it's got Eros hanging out with Icarus. Definitely going to be intense sexual energy going around. But, I think that this is us stepping into our power and our truth and being willing to sit on the throne in life of justice and truth. And we got a 9 of Swords reversed with that. There's nothing to worry about. So your anxieties or your fears of not being able to have all these beautiful things, as we are flipping the script, we are getting off of tails and moving to heads. Looks really good, folks. Looks really good. You just don't want to be hanging out at the Weeping Clam in Woketopia. Yes, do I have a reservation at the Weeping Clam, please? No? Thank you. Give me 1 sec. I'm going to put these cards away, and we're going to do the prayer and get right down to it. All right, I know people wanted a unicorn. One unicorn for the overall for what's going on. Just one. Unicorn portal? Oh my gosh. How did we get that card here?
My God, the unicorn portal. Focus your light. Listen for a message. Unicorn portal number 38. Look at that. 2 little unicorns hanging out in the clouds of the portal. Wow. Those little unicorns. So you got the unicorn portal to look after with this new. And look at that. Looks like a rainbow. Behind it is the sun. This is looking good. This looks like a male unicorn ready to go mount a female unicorn, if you know what I mean. Wow. What a portal. No, not a porno, a portal. I don't know. Where are your guys' mind? This is High Life TV. Jeez. I'll be right back. Oh, yeah, okay. I'll be right back. Portal, right? No, did you say portal? Yeah, I said portal. Okay.
All right, everyone. This is the time for the prayer and setting that intention through prayer, and then we go live into the mix. Dear God, thank you so much for this blessed moment in our lives. The unstable world is so beautiful because of the divine truth that you bring to us every day. And that divine truth is always the divine itself, which is you, Lord. And I know that we are always looking to see the justices for so many of the things that don't look like they are just in this world. And I know that there is a lot out there that is trying to be the voice of you masked under weird things. And also at the same time, just a complete denunciation of that you exist or that the divine exists in itself. And I know that you don't worry about it, Lord. I know that you bring peace and you bring so many blessings to all of us, not only just having this beautiful life that you have bestowed upon us, but the amazing people that we are surrounded by in our lives. And through these last couple years, I know that you have been with us stronger and even more powerful than ever. On our last prayer together, Lord, I told you that all of us as people are going to give you back a gift, because the gift of life that you've given us, that we want to give you back the gift of how much we honor you and how much gratitude we have for you. I know through these days ahead, I know that even in this moment as I pray to you and I pray with all of us that are watching and around the world, that divine justice is here and always has been here. That your divine timing in life is always the most precious, because it is not just perfect, but truly divine, synchronistic, and the true time in life, which is the divine's time, God's time, your time. I know a lot of people are anxious, Lord, and I ask you to relieve them of their angst. I know a lot of people don't believe that truth exists anymore, Lord, and I pray for you to help them realize that there's more truth than ever right now in this world than there ever has been as this world evolves. I know that you lead the way every day for all of us to find our center through you, and more importantly, to find that center within us, to be able to connect with you in the eye of the storm. That through all the things in life that we have been going through, Lord, it's been nothing but just beautiful. The connection to you, Lord, that I feel not only through myself as I say to you this prayer, but as I say and I feel through so many that I see throughout this world right now. We are all bonded through you more than ever. And I have so much respect for you, Lord, for how calm and composed you stay and how protected you keep all of us through these times. And for those out there that are having trouble, I know that you still offer the grace. I know that you still offer even the most beautiful blessings to people that still don't see or still don't connect, because your divine love is embedded within everything. And at this time, Lord, I pray that we can all build more bridges together, and all those bridges make stronger bridges to you. And I'm so not confident, but I am assured when I connect with you and when I pray to you every day, Lord, and when I make these prayers on this show that I do for people to help bring them love, to bring them light, to help them through these magical moments of these divine synchronistic events from the divine cosmos and the divine universe that you have embedded us in this beauty with, that is surrounded by love and beauty. That I pray for you to help people see how beautiful life is, how beautiful things still come together, how beautiful this world has always been and has never been tarnished. It never has been plagued upon in such a negative way. It has always been that there's always been so many that you have brought down here, Lord, to hold that beautiful truth, that beautiful wisdom that you bring, the beautiful joy you bring, the beautiful grace, the beautiful of everything, Lord. You bring it all. And I know, Lord, as a humanity that we are, that we are going to give you the best gift that you've ever gotten back. I can only imagine what it's like being the creator of all things, and especially of humanity, without expectation of a gift in return, without expectation of anything. Because the truth is out there that you are not a person that lives through expectation. You are a divine being, a divine Lord that allows things to just be as is in love. And I know that you probably never would have even guessed or even wanted to see humanity bring back the love we have for you stronger than ever and the divine justice. But I know that's happening, and I know that there are so many souls, and I would even say that most of humanity on this planet, we are all tied together on the same strings, and we all feel the same way. And there is a force out there that's trying to have us think differently, and I know that you are doing your beautiful mastery up there for what divine truth is going to bring to undo those false cords. And I thank you. And I send you my blessings and my gratitude and my appreciation. And I know that all those out there that are listening to this prayer do as well. Thank you, Lord, for everything that you do. Thank you for all these beautiful moments and for the beautiful future moments to come. Amen. All right, everyone, as we're going to go live into the mix, make sure that you check us out. Of course, we're doing this live on YouTube and on High Vibe TV and on Mixcloud. So if you do want to chat, I'm in the chat once in a while between tracks and stuff like that. This is all live. Release on this one, but also send that new intention out. I'm sending you the best energy. Please share these videos. Please join us on highvibe.tv. You can always go highvibe.tv, the website, or find us on the app stores and your Apple TV and your Roku. I love you all very much. Let's do it. I appreciate you all. It's going to be a blast. Let's do it.
$1 million.
Engines beginning throttling down now at 94%. Normal throttles for most of the flight, 104%. We'll throttle down to 65% shortly. Engines at 65%. 3 engines are running normally. 3 good fuel cells. 3 good APUs. Velocity 2,257 feet per second. Altitude 4.3 nautical miles. Downrange distance 3 nautical miles. From the flight dynamics officer that the vehicle has exploded. Flight director confirms that. We are looking at checking with the recovery forces to see what can be done at this point. We will report more as we have information available. Again, to repeat, we have a report relayed through the flight dynamics officer that the vehicle has exploded. We are now looking at the contingency operations.
Stop it now.
Engines beginning throttling down now.
Hey, I mean, pray
at
it's
94%. Normal throttles for most of the flight, 104%.
I haven't seen you in church lately.
Well,
We'll throttle down to 65%.
There goes one of them. There goes one of them now.
65%. 3 engines running normally. 3 good fuel cells. 3 good APUs. Velocity 2,257 feet per second. Altitude 4.3 nautical miles. Downrange distance 3 nautical miles.
Look, there goes one of them now. There goes one of them now. There goes one of them now.
Let's go, come on. Let's go, come on. Let's go, come on. chance to live. Survival of the loving. Vibes positive. Take a moment to breathe in. Tell me what you're seeing. Take a moment to breathe in.
there was Jack. And there was Jack. There was Jack. And Jack had a groove. And from this groove came the grooves of all grooves. And while one day viciously throwing down on his box, Jack boldly declared,
how many times I've tried to pretend that it wasn't enough for me.
Let there be house.
I just want to fly by bizarre.
Be house.
In my broken wings.
Be house.
And then I climbed the mountains.
And house music was
without
born.
asking myself.
What
is in heaven? How they
you see, I am the creator, and this is my house.
Discovering the truth.
It's my house.
I just need to know that you are there.
My house.
And you will always stay.
And in my house, there is only house music. But I am not so selfish, because once you enter my house, it then becomes our house and our house music. And you see, no one man owns house, because house music is a universal language. Music is a universal language, spoken, understood by all. Spoken, understood by all. Spoken, understood by all.
being watched closely by intelligences greater than man. Minds that are to our minds as ours are the beasts in the jungle, regarded this earth with envious eyes, and slowly and surely drew their plans against us. In the 39th year of the 20th...
Catch me, babe.
We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world is being watched closely by intelligences greater than man, minds that are to our minds ours that are the beasts in the jungle, regarded this earth with envious eyes, and slowly and surely drew their plans against us. In the 39th year of the 20th century came the Great Disillusionment.
stay in Wonderland. You stay in Wonderland.
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me. I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me. I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me. This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me. And I'm afraid that's something I can't allow to happen.
Probably, yes. Coming from my background, I'm living like a king. What kind of background have you got that makes you say that? Well, I come from a room and kitchen, a tenement in Edinburgh, in Scotland, and my father's a long-distance lorry driver, so he wasn't home all that much. And I started work when I was 9, left school at 13, and
up, shake it, and get down, get down. Yeah. Jump up, shake it, and get down, get down. Shake it. And get down. Shake it. Get down, get down, get down. Jump up, shake it, make 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 down. Jump up, jump, jump, jump up.
men will pass and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes. Don't give yourselves to brutes. Men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives. Who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel. Who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds. You are not machines. You are not cattle. You are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate. Only the unloved hate. The unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery. Fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man. Not one man nor a group of men, but in all men. In you. You, the people, have the power. The power to create machines. The power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful. To make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world. A decent world. That will give men a chance to work. That will give you the future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power. But they lie. They do not fulfill their promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world. To do away with national barriers. To do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason. A world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite! Democracy, let us all unite! Let us all unite! Democracy, let us all unite!
Just like seven is goofballs, he's waiting on last calls. Cause if you leave him the last line, don't leave him the brown kind. Bound just a little too slow. Just a little too slow. Well, you got the fun to do. Just a little too
Despite all the poppycock, the animosity, the headlines, the impeachment without a trial, despite everything, despite even my own death, I feel surprisingly good. And my confidence grows each day that soon enough you will know the full truth. Wait a minute. Now that I think of it, you never actually saw me die.
we are all particles. Today, we unite, including every single particle. Starting nuclear fusion protocol. Particles unite in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,
Despite all the poppycock, the animosity, despite all the poppycock, the animosity, the headline, the impeachment without a trial, animosity, the headline.
In your fight, I show you might. On your fight, I show you sight. What it takes is what it takes. Stand on my I show you sight. What it takes is what it takes is stamp on my beats. On my beats. Stamp in your fight, I show you bite. On your flight, I show you sight. What it takes is what it takes is stamp on my beats. On my beats. Stamp, damp and stomping. Thumping, stomping, stomping. Aries, Mars, 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 Mars. Aries, Mars, Mars, Mars. Aries, you're Mars, 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 Mars.
Certainly nice of you to drop by, Mr. Benson. Cotton. Everybody calls Nate Cotton. Oh, yeah. Everybody calls Nate Cotton. Oh, yeah. Getting into April. Just about time for old Satan to start stirring. Just about time for old Satan to start stirring. It's about time for old Satan to start stirring. It's just about that time. Satan. 1,500 odd pounds of the meanest, wickedest animal this side of Hades. Sounds like a grizzly.
Looks like a grizzly.
The folks around here are beginning to think he's the devil himself. Well, I've had truck with grizzlies before. They won't give you any trouble unless...
Paranoid when thinking about you. Gravity is off when I'm next to you.
and he ran a bunch of bad boys, and he ran a bunch of bad boys, and he ran a bunch of bad boys. And Corn Pop wasn't bad too. was a bad dude, and he ran a bunch of bad boys. He ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did, and back in those days, you see how things have changed? One of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. If you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys.
Out of the nonsense that you pulled me through. I give it up to you. I do it all for you. Maybe this feeling's overdue. Feeling's overdue.
Corn Pop was a bad dude. And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And he ran a bunch of bad boys.
This is London Court. Here is a news flash. The German radio has just announced that Hitler is dead. The German radio has just announced that Hitler is dead.
specific type of animation. And, well, there was a certain awe and respect we had of this classic of Bambi that I decided that, number one, I'd have to put my artist back in school to learn something that is something you don't get in the formal art education. Formal art education. Formal art education. Formal art education. That is, you get human anatomy. And this was animal anatomy, and beyond that, animal locomotion, movement and things. So I put him into school and had my artist specially trained for this one picture. My artist specially trained for this one picture. Now, when I finally went into production, I just couldn't put every artist I had on it. So I had to take a select team. Take a select team. Take a select team. I had to take a select team. I had to take a select team. I had to take a select team.
It's wonderful, you can never do this again.
And by the time you graduate from Syracuse University in 1951, Dick, your father's become manager of radio station WRUN in Utica. But not wishing to trade on his name, you get a job as newscaster on Utica station WKTV using the name Dick. You worked there for about a year, gaining valuable experience and remarkably for a newscaster, a personal following of high school students. Spring 1952, your father agrees with you that the next step in your radio television career ought to be into a larger market.
Polite, a guy knowing where he was going. A guy knowing where he was going. A guy knowing where he was going. He gave me the feeling that you could count on him to do a job right. When he asked me whether there's a radio or television job in the area, I said to him, "What about our station?"
You arranged for him to be auditioned that same day. And now, here from Philadelphia, where today's program and production manager, WFIL-TV, and also executive producer of American Bandstand, is the man who directed Dick's audition, Lou Klein.
Was nervous and excited and impressed when he came to WFIL, and yet he had a quiet, confident manner about him. When he walked in, he brought with him his own script for a news show, a soup commercial, and a little write-up about himself. Dick was certainly a young man who knew where he was going, and a young man who knew where he was going, and a young man who knew where he was going, and a young man who knew where he was going.
to relax. And in this blissful state of being, your mind is feeling completely open. Almost as if your inner body and mind has merged with space. Close your eyes and begin to relax. And in this blissful state of being, your mind is feeling completely open. Almost as if your inner body has merged with space. 'Cause there's never a clean break, and I will give more than I take. Reverse the spell, find a remedy. 'Cause you're hard to kill. You're so hard to. You're hard to. You're so hard. You're so hard. You're so. You're so. You're so. You're so. You're so. You're so. You're so hard to kill. You're so hard to. You're hard to. You're so hard to kill. Hard to kill. Drifting out in the dark, where you stop at start. It's a long way back to the light.
Here she is. She is single and
A tasted so bittersweetly. Memories harbor deeply. In a dream, there's a remedy. 'Cause you're hard to kill. You're so hard to. You're hard to. You're so hard to kill. You're so hard to. You're hard to. You're so hard to kill. 'Cause you're hard to kill.
only for a day, oh, only for one. I could tell you this is everything that I have ever lived for, but I'd give it all away. So look into these and tell me how you feel. All my days of misery, someone could have taken them from me.
He needs his baby back. He wants his lady back. He needs his baby back. He wants his lady back.
Traveling somewhere, could be anywhere. There's a coldness in the air, but I don't care. We drift deeper, and life goes on. We drift deeper into the sound.
Which leads to an obvious conclusion. We are the gods now. Lofty of Arabia, but very much needed.
Surround me as the rush comes. Embrace me, surround me as the rush comes. Embrace me, surround me as the rush comes. Embrace me, surround me as the rush comes.
Burn it, rip it, drag it, drop it, zip and zip it, lock it, fill it, curl it, find it, view it, code it, jump and lock it. Cross it, crack it, switch, update it. And it's in it, that's your name it. Drag it, drop it, zip and zip it. View it, code it, jump and lock it. Cross it, crack it, switch, update it. And it's in it, that's your name it. Drag it, drop it, zip and zip. Surf it, scroll it, pose it, click it. Name it, read it,
All because he gave us five.
catch me, name it, target, play it,
Our
burn
first
it,
true
rip it, drag
piece of
it, drop it,
technology.
zip and zip it, lock it, fill it, call it, find it, view it, code it, jump and lock it, surf it, scroll it, pose
That's
it,
a very long time
cross it,
ago.
crack it, switch, update it, name it, read it,
Which begs the question.
scan it, send it, fax me, name it, target,
What have we
play it,
done?
burn it, rip
100,000 BC, stone tool. 4,000 BC, the wheel. 800 BC, sundial. 9th century AD, gunpowder. It was a game changer. 1441, the printing press, only slightly less impactful. 19th century, steam engine. Steam engine, railway, eureka, the light bulb. 20th century, the automobile, television, nuclear weapons, spacecraft, spacecraft, internet. 21st century, biotech, nanotech, fusion and fission. Biotech, nanotech, nanotech, nanotech.
Drop it, zip and zip it.
Nanotech,
Coded gem and lock it.
nanotech, 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 fusion and fusion and fission and M theory, and that fusion and fission. Nanotech, fusion and fission
and M theory, and that was just the first decade. We are now 3 months into the year of our Lord.
Drag it, drop it, zip and zip it, lock it, feel it, call it, find it, view it, code it, gem and lock it, serve it,
We have identified the genetic chain of events behind 98% of cancer.
a chain we have broken. We can create cybernetic individuals who, in just a few short years, will be completely indistinguishable from you.
Which leads to an obvious conclusion.
What sense am I going to church?
Do you remember one time when we were small, we were out here? It was from right over there. I jumped out at you from behind the tree, and Grandpa got all excited. He shook his fist at me, and he said, "Boy, you be..." His fist at me, and he said, "Boy, you be damned to hell." Remember that? Right over there. You used to really be scared.
Johnny,
You're still afraid.
stop it now. I mean it.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
Stop it. You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now. Look, there comes one of them now.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of it.
Johnny. Child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
Initiating hypergate. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hypergate activated. The portal to illuminating the collective consciousness has finally opened. Please enter